Hey friends, welcome back to another video. Just thinking about last session, I still actually made about 7 or 8,000 chips. That was pretty good, even though we made probably one or two bad calls, and we had a few callers still, so the cards weren't totally going our way. And then towards the end there, we sort of probably leaked a few chips as well. But anyway, going on top of what happened, so we made a greedy bet call. The greedy bet is when, let's say you've got pocket top pair, top kicker or an overpair, you're betting, you've raised pre-flop, you've bet on the flop, you've bet on the turn, then the person raises you on the turn. So I call that the greedy bet. Usually they're trying to get stacks in, and they usually have like trips or they usually have the nuts. The only exception I would say on this, like on that occasion when you have that type of cards happening. Sometimes they don't have the nuts. Their best way to think of is, let's say, if there's a lot of draws out there. So say like a Jack 10 suited with an 8 or something like that. Or just for instance like that, there's flushes, there's straights out there. You could possibly go for, that call. But it's very rare that you're wrong when you fold the greedy bet. You'll see when I actually play it, when I actually do the check, when I try and shove on the turn, when I have like an ultimate, I can do it for the greedy bet, but I also will have a lot of equity, so fold equity, but I'll have chances to make the nuts hands. I'll have like, I could possibly have the nut flush hand straight, you'd have like ace, king, diamonds. If there's two diamonds on the board, maybe queen 10 on the board as well, so you could possibly sometimes I'll have lower cards. It could be an open ender with a flush draw, which will be nice as well. So 9 times out of 10, you can actually easily fold this, that type of scenario anyway. So we're going to dive in after that, and just to go on top of what some of the comments. So on Monday, I'll release a video replying to some of the comments, and I do appreciate all the comments. I actually encourage it because I actually prefer to respond, and yeah, just make it fun doing videos, responding to the comments as well. So I appreciate it as well. We've got Jack 10 here. We're in position. He's shoving all in. If he's got aces shoving all in, he's definitely just wasting chips there. So we're getting position there, but unfortunately got a fold. And that's another reason why sometimes in position you try and bet a bit lower, because you want people to call in position rather than fold. This guy doing it, I could just flat call this. I'm gonna fold. Saying a lot of people in the big blind against the small blind will shove very wide there, but you've got to actually have a calling range there. We're gonna bet 200 here. We'll be in position as well. So you get two pair, that's nice, but there is a flush. We can bet a little bit more, thinking he's gonna call it with the wider range. If he's got an ace, he'll call. Gotta continue betting and really try and get max value here. We could probably go check on the river. There could be a lot of alright, so gotta check behind here. You could have a lot of two pair hands that are better than us. That is fine. We're gonna bet here gotta go to 1,000. We're out of position here though. If we go all in, ace king suited is not the worst to go all in with. He might shove. I think we're calling here. Alright, so we can actually bet here quite a bit because we're out of position. Just because we don't want people to fold, but at the same time we don't want a midway pot. A three-way pot. Three-way pot with flush draws, straight draws. So this is easy call. If he's got a set, too bad, but we should have going up against ace 10. A lot of weaker aces, so that's beautiful. I'm going to fold the 9. Although I could have almost argued to make the call. Pocket 7s, pretty good. We're going to fold Jack 9. We didn't start open up. We're going to raise here with pocket 7s. That's been the strategy I've been using lately, and it's been working. because you get these type of boards, a dry board. We can bet a little bit more. Got pocket sevens. Hopefully get a fold. We're just happy with that. We can continue to bet here. Only half bet, but we're still betting. We can check here. If he hasn't hit, we win the board anyway. He's got pocket jacks, that's fine. We didn't give him 3 streets of value. So that is fine. We charged all the straights and flush draws and people trying to bluff us. So that was fine. Pocket 9s, here we go. Probably could raise here. I'm going to flat call. Trying to set mine here. We're going to check here. We've got raise. So you don't typically bet into the raiser because they're going to raise if they've hit, and you just bloat the pot. You can do it if you've actually hit though. We do have diamonds, which is nice, so we can make a call here. But we've only got 9s. Okay, I think we're calling this down. Yeah, we're going to raise this. He's going to fold. Maybe. If he shoves all in, it's pretty sick. We haven't showed weakness. That's like the worst card on the board for us. What's he doing? Alright, we just call. I think we won the hand. Only just, but that's the type of hands you get excited about, right? You don't get excited about winning pocket aces. You don't get upset about callers. It's those hands that you just win by, 9 diamonds flush. They're the hands you get excited. They're the ones that change your win rate. Alright, got 2 pair here. We can bet half pot here, which is nice. Just gotta check it through. Should win against an ace. He just misses everything. Don't know why he made the call, to be fair. So that's good. That was just okay. We've got a. Oh, I thought that was another club, but it's not. We can check here. We'd only get. We don't. Oh, we could have bet there. Okay, could have the best hand. Not sure though. Could have pocket pair. Oh, we'll make a simple call. Maybe could have folded the 100, but it's that cheap, why not? Pity with the ace king. We're gonna bet here. Let's see what he does. So we got value. Sometimes it's a bit risky when you bet on the river, because sometimes you get raised off your hand. I hit pocket 6s, so that was a wide call for him. Okay, we're going to open up with king 2 suited. We have started playing these hands. You've got to be wary that you do get a lot more variance with these hands. So it means that when you start losing and it's not going your way, it's gonna feel a lot worse. But when you're getting a winning streak, you gotta be excited. It's gonna go really well, but you'll have to change gears. So it's probably not recommended for newer players to open up your range too much. Probably best to stick to a tight range. Keep it simple, just to begin with. Most people play too tight, play too loose. Typically, against the under the gun, we're gonna fold. We'll run into a lot of stronger aces though. Anyway, we could probably justify that is if we hit 2 pair, but then when the board pairs up and it's higher than our card, it's just not worth it. Unfortunately, we could have thrown a bet there, but that's why we're out of position there. It's a little bit harder to play. 9-10, hard on the board. We could probably bet this. We could probably even check raise if. Okay, that's unfortunate. I want another heart there. We'll have to make the best hand, but unfortunately we're not going to get there. Multi-way pot as well, so we didn't do the bluff. If we were going to make the bluff, we could have played it on the flop. I don't think we could sell a bluff now on the turn. We're just going to get out of the way. We obviously showed our hand strength there by the way we were betting, so you've got to be aware of just the way you look like you're playing. What do we got? We got Ace King, so we're going to bet this. Raise to 400. In position as well, so we can probably continuation bet here. If both guys have got, we didn't hit the board. He bets into us. I'm gonna let it go. It's a tight fold, but in a multi-way pot, it's less likely that a top pair might actually be good enough. So we can let go of the hand. This is a really good board for Ace King that's missed. We're just going to continue to hit because to do the betting here. Hopefully he checks behind and we win the hand. And pocket eights. So we had the biggest chance to get the flush and the top pair hand, so that was fine. Okay, pocket nines, medium pair. A lot of people have trouble playing medium pairs, but you've just got to play them slightly different. So what I've noticed with a lot of players, especially in tournaments, they just overvalue their hands and they wonder why. Like, you'll see, like, usually by the flop or the turn, they're folded with when I've got pocket pairs, especially medium. Or you can do a lot of 3-bet steals from the blinds as well. But often when you get caught, I could probably raise there too. It's the hijack. Okay, got a heart on the board. Just gonna let go Queen 9. Not get too fancy, especially out of position there. When you're in position, sometimes you can get away with it. We're gonna bet here. It's a bit of a dry board. Hopefully drop a person here. We've got position. It's a big difference between having position and no position. Or out of position. Alright, so far so good. Okay, we need a jack. Alright, I'm just gonna check. It's gonna hit his range a lot of the time. It's gonna lose a lot of folds. Good card here. Question is, do we bet? I'm gonna actually call and then see, but we could get our kicked. He could have a king jack here. He's got 2 pair. So that was a nice bet from our opponent. He played quite well. I'm going to raise it, play to 500. We're in position here. Got a gut shot here. So we kind of got outplayed in the last hand with the 10-8 2 pair. So that was nice from our opponent. We could have even folded with the king. And that's what I'm saying about you've got to be really careful about playing those marginal hands. That was a nice little steal there with 6-5 though. The semi-bluffs, you shouldn't really just blatantly bluff. You should actually learn to semi-bluff. So if you don't know what a semi-bluff is, a semi-bluff is something like... I'm actually going to call here. It's a weird hand. A semi-bluff is a hand where you've got a lot... You can actually make a better hand than what your opponent can. But you actually don't have the best hand at the moment. So you throw the bet in. If they fold, you've got the worst hand. But they could have, a medium, like a small pair, medium pair. Maybe got you out kicked, but you've got a chance of beating them. Alright, hit trips here with 3, which is fine. Just an easy little win there. It was a bad hand, so a bad hand with a small amount, a small pot. That's typically fine. You want to keep it small. But your big hands, you want to win big, definitely. We can continue to bet here. We're slightly out of position, so we're going to try and buy position in the hand. We get position. I win the board. That was a medium pocket pair. And that was just a nice win. Because chances are, you've got to defend the hand. Because by the time the river comes out, there's a high chance your tens don't hold up. So you got to really make them pay to get there. And play aggressive. Especially with the medium pair. I'm going to continue defending, play a little bit higher, get them the call while we're in front. Ace is a good hand for us because we can just half bet. If he doesn't have an ace, he's going to fold, typically. And it's just a steal. So we actually turned our hand into a bluff there, but a lot of people would have actually raised or, you know, 3-bet with a better, like with a strong ace on pre-flop. And we can call, we got an open ender. Okay, we're gonna get stacks in here. Do we get stacks in? We do the greedy bet. And win the hand. It was a bit of a flip towards the end. He had about 30% from memory. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it was between 25 and 30% to win the hand on the turn, even though, so it was close to that. But we ended up shoving, so him calling loses his equity in the hand, so he doesn't have fold equity, so he sort of loses. But we got the hand in, so we win to folds as well as, you know, getting the best hand, obviously, and defending our hand. So it's just a win. Pocket queens, beautiful. Some argue it might be a medium pair. Do I have 1 over pair on the board? We just continue to bet. We're going to disguise it with half a bet. So you try and entice him. Okay, we can bet again one more time. There's draws on the board here. We don't want to. And we're just going to check behind him. Chances are he's got an ace here. So he had a weak ace. That's fine. A lot of times in that position we'll have a better ace than him. Fold, queen, jack, offsuit. There could have been an argument to whether or not we bet on the turn or not, but there was a lot of hands there that call on the turn. You know, if he's got pocket jacks, pocket tens, pocket nines, possibly something along those lines, he might make the call. So we're just losing out if we don't make. And you don't want to give a free card, obviously. All right. The cat's making weird noise. Do we call? Do we fold? Big question. I'm gonna let it go. I probably shouldn't have opened with 10-2 suited, but that's fine. Sometimes when you think about making a play, sometimes the best thing is not to make a bad scenario a worse scenario. Yeah, this is an overbet. We've only got a 2. Let's have a look and see what he's got. Probably no point. We're just hoping to get another 2 if we called there. I mean, 2 pair hand there. Especially with the 2s, you can easily get out kicked, or, I mean, you totally get counterfeited quite easily. As soon as the board pairs up, you know, you're in trouble town. Alright, so far so good in this session. Following that, A2 is bad. Jack 5 suited. Now I'm gonna fold let go of Jack 5 suited. I'm not especially in the small blind. We can raise here in position, try and isolate the bad player. Under the gun, Jack 10 suited. I'm gonna try and be a little bit fancy here. Continue the bet here. We've got a gut shot. We're out of position, so we need to be a little bit higher in the bet. Alright, we'll check and see what he does here. We're going to try and bluff at this hand. Okay, so the board pairs up, so it's a lot harder for him to have the hand. But if it's someone who can read the hand, if we had a queen, we're probably betting the turn. And the board pairs up, so it's a lot harder for someone to actually have a hand. Especially when they don't bet the turn. Raise could be good here, but not probably now. Probably could have made a bet on the turn there. We let people catch up there. Yeah, we could have made a bet there with getting the 3. That was our chance to win the hand. Just that one straight where everyone possibly would fold because it didn't hit the board. But as soon as the ace comes out, especially against 3 other opponents, there's a high chance they got an ace. And quite a low chance. We're going to raise here now. Quite a low chance that they had, you know, they hit the 9, especially with the paired board. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. You've got to be very careful. Okay, beautiful. This is what we want. Hopefully someone's got the queen. We're going to bet to 1,000 actually. It's a bit of a wet board as well. Trips aren't as good. That's a really good card as well. A lot of 2-pair hands will be made, like ace queen. We're going to go to 3,000, really try and get value. There's a lot of river cards that might stop the action. A king or a 9 would be nice now. So queen 10 is bad for us. We could check here. We ain't got trips. Okay, so a lot of, yeah. I don't think we would have got the river call there. We would only get called by better. But yeah, some of those cards were really nice for us, especially to get those calls. King 2 suited. Yeah, we're going to fold. We're going to get 2 fancy. Sometimes when you get on tilt, you know, some people get on tilt, and your tilt could be much different to mine. So, you know, when I'm on tilt, I might do a few more cold calls than normal. And, you know, sometimes the difference is you guys will be stuck on tilt for a long time, where I might be just stuck on tilt for a hand or two and then I'll get back into it. We're going to raise quite big here, defending the pocket 7s. We can continue to bet this as well. I'm going to let go of the 2s here. They're short stacked. Don't have the rights to call though. So he bets into us. I'm going to let this one go. Pocket 7s could be okay there. But if he continues to bet on the river, it's going to be very expensive. But when you're playing those medium to low pocket pairs, you've got to learn to let go of hands. You'll be wrong, you won't be wrong all the time, but you're going to be wrong sometimes. We can bet to 400 here. Try and set mine here as well. We hit the perfect board here. Hopefully the board pairs up on the turn. Got to be a bit higher. And because we're out of position slightly as well. In Mighty Way pot, a lot of people might connect. Got to raise here to 700. Board pairs up. We'll get a bit more. There is a flush out there. I think we can get more value as well. Alright, and we just get stacks in. We got his stack. He has to call 2,000. Yeah, had the straight. So we had full value here. Unfortunately, our play didn't work. So with our ace jack here, we were trying to do a 3 bet and then continuation bet on the flop. We get called and we let go of the hand now. That's fine. But a lot of times we win the board there without making it to the turn. And a lot of times there we'll have top pair or we'll hit the jack. We'll hit something. Raise here to 400. I'm going to raise in position against the small blind. I'm going to raise here. Okay, I'm going to raise to 1,000 and let go of the hand if it gets called. They're deep stacked. I'm going to call one turn here. If we hit the 9, we go massive. Oh wow, 6-8 was actually good there. What happened? Oh, we hit the right? Oh wow, no. He actually tried just bluffing us. Unfortunately, we didn't get the 9s. It would have been really nice. We did get some type of pot control here. Gotta have a look. You gotta see that there's gonna be an ace at least, maybe a 2 pair. Yeah, so an ace jack. So if we hit the queen, hit the nines, we're probably getting a lot in. We're gonna continue to bet here. This is a scary board. So if he doesn't have a diamond, they fold. If they don't have an ace or a king, they could fold. If we hit a jack now, at least we can make it bigger bet size. He over bets, shoving all in. I'm going to fold. I'm just going to see if he makes the call. He doesn't make the call. Alright, I'm going to make the play a little bit higher again. 600 ace jack offsuit from the big blind. Didn't work for us last time, but doesn't mean we don't try again. So we made mid pair here. We're going to bet here like we've got ace king. And just win the hand. So that's the plan. Just win the hand on the flop like that in the 3-bet board against that with those type of hands. And the more you notice that working, the more you can open your range up. When your opponents start catching up, start working on that you're actually starting to raise a bit wider. That's when you start tightening up and trap them. Ace queen all in. So we could actually probably shove here. We can make a shove. I'm just going to fold, have a look though. But thinking about making a shove, would have been right to shove as well. So we would have had the best hand, so I could have made the shove. But I just wanted to make sure. Just gotta remember, I haven't played poker in years, so I am somewhat rusty. But I did say, like, first you got to identify the situations, and then you just work on it next time. So at least we worked on that situation where it was a shoving. But I don't know. Sometimes what happens is, especially in a 9-player ring, so the more players on a table, the higher the strength your cards need to be. That's why I like playing 6. That's where my strengths are. That's what I'm used to. It's where my experience is. I'm going to let go of King 4. This is a classic example of easily getting trapped in the hand. So I'm going to fold. You got to watch the hand play out. But it's an easy way of losing. Like, oh, I've got the top pair. But if you look at my kicker, it really stinks. So we could be paying him. He could have King 5, King 6 even. And we're still lost. So there's no point. We could bet here, but under the guns, limped in. Not suited as well. I'm just going to let go of that. I'm not going to go too stupid. If we're suited, I can start playing hands like and start raising there. Let go of. You just got to be very mindful of certain situations where, you're in the small blind, big blinds. Then you're out of position when they call. And then what happens is when you miss the board. So when you miss the board, or you've got a top pair but weak kicker and they're starting to bet, you check and they bet into you, you get really awkward, especially when the betting's getting a bit higher up. A lot of people try and do block bets. We can make one call here, I think. We don't have diamonds though, that we could justify a folding here as well, but I'm going to make one call knowing that we could actually hit a top pair. 9s aren't bad for us, but he keeps betting. I think he's defending like 10s, maybe jacks or something like that. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let go of ace jack offsuit as well. Sometimes small blind you can bet here. We just got to wait to see if everyone folded and went to us that we could play. But I'm going to let go of that one. Okay, we'll fold, see what these clowns are actually shoving in with. Typically, people shouldn't shove in with the aces. Because the reason is, it sounds all good that you get stacks in. But chances are you're going to get just people folding. And the last thing you want is just to win the blinds with the best hands. Yeah, we had 2 pair there, but at the same time, we wouldn't have called with the best hand. So we wouldn't have called with the best hand. We're gonna bet right. We're gonna bet into there. So it would have wouldn't have called with the best hand. That's not what you want to be. Two pair here. We've got a bet quite steep, out of position. Want to defend the hand against the flushes and stuff. Got a check call. Okay, he just checks behind. We lose. He loses. Sorry. He had 4-2. See, he was chasing the flush, so that is fine. Call behind. The board paired up, so there's a high chance that our pocket pair did win. So that was pocket fives winning. So it's another one of those small wins what I'm talking about. It's where the difference is between a losing player and a winning player are those hands. Consistently getting those little wins, they definitely help. 100%. They definitely help. You could have a losing session, but they just keep your bottom level from falling too low. We're going to let go of this. Actually, 100. Alright, I'm going to call 1. It's only 100 at this stage. Now we've got an open ender. I feel like calling was a good an open ender. We didn't hit it. If he checks, we're in a boggle here. Just gonna let it go though. Maybe it was a bad call on the turn though. It's quite expensive. He wasn't really giving us odds. Okay, gotta open up here. Gotta bet 200. Just lower our betting on the dealer button. So a lot of people will just call with worse hands. Just because they feel like they're priced in. Yeah, we call behind. He didn't raise us pre-flop. Okay, I think we've got the best hand here. Yeah, nice. So I think we had the best hand. It just felt like a bluff as well. And he didn't raise us pre-flop. Ace Jack suited. Could be that's probably a 3-betting hand out of position. I didn't feel like he had the best hand there. We're starting to read the board. Oh, we're starting to read the hands a bit better now. Even from last week. It's gonna fold Queen 4 suited. There's no point. Let go of that one. We could go for an 8 here. Someone's 23,000. I'm actually not a fan of this because if the 8 comes out, we could really lose big. Especially if we got the second best hand. We don't have the nuts. If we make the hand, there is better hands out there. Not a little bit scary, but it's those type of hands where you might win small and lose big. And that's not a situation you want to be in. And that's usually the case when you have your King 10 hands and all that stuff. I bet 300 here for Ace Queen suited. Love this hand, it's nice. I'm going to raise here from the limper. I'm going to bet quite sharp because we're out of position here, but go up to about 800. We continue to bet here to 1,000. This board they could miss a lot of. Alright, just going to half bet, defend against the flush and straights. We're going to let go of the guy shoving in. This is the greedy. Oh, he could have a flush. He could have hit an 8. Could have had a queen. We have really nothing there. Okay, we get raised on. I'm going to let go of the hand. Especially in a multi-way pot there. That's a shame. But think of it this way. It's not actually a bad fold. Because you're only calling to chop the pot anyway. So we did get put off the hand, but it was a multi-way pot. I'm going to let go of Queen 9 suited. We're not going to let that result hurt us. I mean, a lot of people get upset. Oh, it was a chop, we lost out. But not really. I mean, a lot of chances that third player would have had something better than us. Not necessarily worried about the other guy. I was just more the initial raiser. It was because that guy got called. Okay, King 10 out of position. We're going to raise a little bit more. Okay, got top pair. Gonna continue on. We do have hearts on the board. Just charge him for out of position. Alright, get a half bet turn. And just win. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect way of winning the board. Alright, I got a fold with ace 10. Okay, we've got a really nice hand here. We've got a raise to 500 actually. We're going to raise to 600 here out of position, just a bit higher. Just because we've got two limper and a caller, we can raise a little bit. We continue. We're out of position here. We're going to bet to 1,000, just a little bit higher. I'm going to continue. Actually, we'll just check this. Might let this go. I'm going to half bet the kings. Alright, I'm going to half bet this one. It's going to call us, hopefully. What did he have? Ace 2. Wow, it's pretty wide. Probably generally don't get that in the cash game. With kings with an overboard, we could have checked it, and then so normally how I used to play kings with an ace was typically when an ace comes out, you could check pretty much all the way to the river and get a call. Get a bet out of someone, a bluff, and then you call them. Or you just do like a half size bet and they call. That's how you get your value. Alright, we've got trips. Ace. We've got a set actually. Ace on the board. That is perfect. We've got trips as well. Just gonna half bet this. Gonna half bet the trips as well. Problem with this board, there's not going to be many that they connect with. We could probably even slow play that, but there is flushes. Okay, I'm going to shove over the top, see what happens. But the problem was we lost the other player, but as soon as the other guy shoved all in, he already had pre-folded anyway, so that's another thing too. We could have probably just called there just to try and lure in the other guy. Didn't make much of a difference since he already folded, made his choice with the shove. So since the bet was already so high, we could have probably just called and then shoved on turns. Okay, we're going to fold with ace 9. Playing out of position, you know how I feel. It's not great. Checking my phone. Alright. Out of position again. Problem with out of position, you don't get paid as good when you do make the hand. That's another reason why you don't play out of position that much. I got a bet here. Pocket 3s, nice. Alright, just gonna set mine here with pocket 3s. Hopefully it goes check and we'll get a free card. That's the reason why you play in position, you get free cards. Okay, we can bet here. I'm gonna bet a little bit higher just because we're out of position. We get position here, even if it calls, we win the hand. That's fine, we didn't make the bet. I'm gonna call for 100. Chances are it could be an ace or a jack on the board. Hit a 3. We definitely look like we could get make our make our money just from calling that. Hits the jack, that's fine. We had a really low chance of making the river, but the price was right. He priced us in. He wasn't getting any more from us. 6-4 suited. Gotta fold, let go of that. Not even going to entertain that hand. Ace 5, we're gonna let go. Queen 9's gone. Probably gonna flat call pocket 3s. No, maybe he should raise, but he's under the gun. He's under the gun, so we're just gonna flat call and we finish the action. That's the important thing. Okay, we actually make the nuts, possibly. I'm gonna fold pocket 2s here. Actually, I'm gonna bet a little bit more just to get a little bit greedier. There is 2 people in the board to make the call. Unfortunately, didn't get it. Maybe should have bet a little bit lower. But I actually wanted to make sharper bets so I didn't lose too much on the turn of the river bet. So if he hit a jack, we could have been getting stacks in, especially by the river. That's why you got to bet a little bit higher. And that's the reason why people actually do the greedy bet to try and get stacks in. Okay, we're going to bet a bit higher here. We bet this size when we're out of position, so bad players won't tell and look like we're just trying to bet this because we've got made hand, not because of position. So we just win the hand again, another pocket pair. Just make those steals all day long. Okay, we hit a pair. Still got a gut shot here, which is nice. Probably still make a call. Okay, I've got a pocket. I've got fours, so I don't think it's the best hand. Just gonna let it go. Okay, we can bet half bet. I think he's gonna let go of a lot of hands, especially on the turn. We're just gonna bet again. We've got 2 overcards. Alright, we just check. We bet a lot of king jack hands, king queen hands. So we did have a we beat bluffs. People trying to bluff us in the hand, trying to keep us up honest. We could bet. I'm just gonna fold actually. Maybe a 2 king 5 suited as well. I'm just gonna start letting go of those hands. No point getting too crazy with those hands. I am thinking about stopping the session, but we are going so well at the moment. It's probably the best session we've had since the bad one. The last session we were still up a bit as well. Last session we were up a bit. We made about 7,000 chips, which is not too bad since we lost stacks to a bad greedy call. Bet a bit higher here. Got top two. Out of position, gonna bet to about 1,200 here. Hopefully he folds. Yeah, and they'll just win the steal. So you can definitely see how stealing just it's just so good. You can just, if you pick the right spots, doesn't matter who you're playing, if it's fake money, real money. That's what I'm saying. They're laughing at. You just need to know how to play the hands. And yeah, against under the gun, raising 350, and he got 2 callers. Ace Jack's not going to be great there. We're definitely betting this to about 700. 9 of diamonds would be nice as well. It's just unfortunate no one hit the ace. If someone had the king of diamonds, they would have made a call as well. Okay, we can raise here. Ace Jack suited against the limper. Okay, so we've got position we're happy with. Pocket kings should be nice as well. It's a dry board. He's testing us here. So they do this block bet, right? And then he's raising. I'm going to bet out of position a little bit higher with pocket kings actually. Don't want to lose concentration there. I'm just going to let go of the ace jack. I don't want to get pulled. I'm going to check here. Look like I'm weak, but actually induce like 2 pair hands to actually bet. I'm going to look like I gave up on the hand. If he falls for it, he bets. I'm going to raise him. Yeah, so that was a nice bet. If he came over the top again, he could have had a flush. So what did he have? Yeah, he had top 2. So that's what I was playing at, hoping he would actually hope to bluff, make his hand into a bluff, even though he probably thought he had the best hand. But it was actually like a bluff. Because there was flushes and straights there. Against that under the gun. Oh, actually not under the gun. I'm gonna let go. We're out of position. King queen offsuit. Out of position. Pretty tight. You gotta know your spots. you know, look at this. We've missed the board. He bets on the flop. We don't have a diamond. We would have lost this already. Make a call again. We don't have a diamond. Now Jack comes up. Now you're in no man's land. Just a good example of why you give up the hand. It looks ludicrous pre-flop, but because you're in out of position, you don't keep the pot low. So in position, you get to choose to check behind or not. You get free cards. If your opponent's check to you, you get free cards. You get the choice to make a bet or get the free card. And sometimes it's best just to do the check behind and do pot size control. Pot control, sorry. King 4, just waiting to see if we're in position. We can go for a steal here. In position, out of position. So we'll go a bit higher out of position. In position here, got to bet 200. See if we can get a fold. But I think a lot of people, yeah, say that was the steal. And we only bet 200. So only risk 200. And that only has to work a certain amount of time. And chances are, if they call in that situation too, we could still make a better hand quite easily and win the hand. Now, kings and aces are really good, especially against the one opponent. Okay, we're out of position here, so we bet a bit more. King 10 against the hijack. I'm going to let this go. That was a nice steal with King Jack. The other hand, we just going to let go of this one. King 10. Let go ace 2 offsuit in the blinds. 4-6 gonna let go. Okay, so we are building nicely. We're building our chip stacks nicely here. And this is the time where you need to start making a decision. Really learn when to stop a session, especially when you're playing online. You got to realize when you play online, you're playing more hands than you are over the board or over the table, so to speak. Over the table, you're playing less hands. Alright, we'll play a new hand for that one. And then the question I'm asking myself is, do I keep playing until I lose a decent hand, or you know, lose some of our winnings, or do we keep playing and then increase our winnings? That's some of the questions. We're not going to bet here. We're going to check here, try and get some free cards. If we hit a 4 here, especially on this board, we're definitely. Oh, actually, now we're actually got nothing here. Even an ace here, even anything higher, just wins the board. So we're all counterfeited. So even an ace just wins. It's pretty sad. We could have probably gone for a bluff there, but. Not really upset. We lost the minimum anyway. I'm going to raise here. We're out of position, but we're going to raise here. We do the same thing with kings in this position, so it keeps them guessing. Not a bad hand. We can actually represent a king. Also, if they call, we still have a gutter. And this is just perfect. We've got a half bet here. Hopefully he raises. Just continue the bet and he's going to call it down, hopefully. Yeah, and we've got a straight. He's probably got a lower straight here. He probably just have a jack, actually. So it's unfortunate that he's not deeper stacked. So he's got a jack. Yeah, nice. That's a shame that we didn't have more stacks there. Alright, so that was a nice hand. Alright, I'm going to raise in position. We've got Jack 10 suited. We do have position. Raise a little bit higher just to get rid of the dealer button as well. So we can bluff this hand. Should be a steal. He didn't raise us. We can bet a bit more. Multi-way pot. If someone calls, they've got an ace probably. We'll do one more, and then he can fold. Okay, so we lose the hand. He's probably got like a 2-pair hand here. I'm not gonna call him. I'm gonna bet with the queen. That's the greedy bet with a call. I'm gonna fold with a weak. I'm gonna sit out the next hand. I'm gonna call it this session, just because the bluff didn't work there before, so things might not be going our way now. But that was a really good session. So even though last session we made probably about 8,000 chips, it felt like a bad session to me. But we ended up still getting our win rate up even after a bad call. But this one was just a really good session, and this is why you got to keep your nerve. You really got to keep your nerve during your losing sessions, because you get these ones. You get these ones eventually when you play good enough all the time. After the bad ones, the next one could be your good ones, and you just start leaking money if you let your bad sessions affect you as well. So, and also, you don't want you want to play more when you're winning. You want to play less when you're losing. And as much as that sounds, it's easy to do, it's not. So when you're actually winning a lot, sometimes you think, oh, okay, I'm done. I don't, I've made the chips I wanted, and I'm out. Or when you're losing, you go, oh, I'm so far down. I've got to keep playing. I've got to make up the quota, and then you just see, loss after loss. And there is days where you've got no chance of winning because it just ain't happening for you. It does happen. You could play all your cards right and nothing goes right. It happens to everyone. So on that note, if you guys are still here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hopefully you guys like this as well. I'm going to do some sit and goes in the future and some tournaments maybe on a Friday night. When I do sit and goes, I'll probably do like 4 tables, maybe even up to 6. Depends how many PokerStars lets me, and then we'll go from there. All right, thanks guys.